It's the weekend and you have financial questions that need answering. That can only mean one thing. It's time for Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome, welcome. It's the Jill on Money Show, the program that takes the mystery out of your financial life. Let's get things started right off the bat. Let's go to Monica, who listens to us from upstate New York. Hello, Monica. How are you, and what can we do for you today?
Hi, Jill. Hi, Mark. We're so excited to be able to talk to you again and get some feedback again. My mom and I called probably 2.5 years ago at this point. We were trying to figure out her finances. My dad passed away 10 years ago, and she worked for his company. So she was kind of trying to wrap up and be able to retire. And you helped us kind of organize what was going on at the time. But there's been some changes. So we wanted to touch base and see what you would suggest. She's in a much better spot now and not as scared with what to do with the funds or having funds, but just kind of wanting to make a plan now.
That's so great, though, that I love when you come back with us and we kind of get through this, because I remember your mom was a little skittish. And so we're so happy that she's in a different place. So tell us how we can help you out. What is the situation and what can we do to help improve it?
Okay, so at the time we were just kind of making ends meet with wrapping up that business and making sure she had enough month to month to get by until she started, turning on all the retirement options that she had saved at that point. Since then, she's closed up the company and was actually able to sell it.
Wow.
Which was a surprise. We really didn't expect that to happen. So that left her in a much better spot. And the agreement was that annually till 2029, it would be $50,000 a year, which more than made up the salary she had. So she was in a much more comfortable spot. And that's great. So that's kind of where we were as of last week. But then last week, the person who purchased the company said he had a separate company that he's looking to sell, but needs to clean up now and make sure they're very cleanly separated, two separate companies, and needed, a lot of feedback from her and her lawyer. And her lawyer suggested at the time to try to get it bought out completely, so she wouldn't have to, worry about year to year if he defaults or something. That
yes, exactly.
Have that company to lean on. Not that there's a worry of that, but just legally you want to be safe.
Absolutely, I take less money up front to have the security of having as much as possible up front.
Right. So it sounds like that's pretty much good to go. As of this week or next week, she should have a big lump sum. And we're trying to figure out what to safely do with that. We never really had a good emergency fund kind of thing for her set aside. So maybe keeping some of it clean for that if there's, a recession down the line coming up. But where and what and how do we handle that income?
Okay. So what will the lump sum amount be?
It'll be $250,000.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Great. Will that be taxable to her? Do we need to pull some money out for taxes?
Yes.
How much should we keep out for taxes?
50 maybe?
Okay. Just for, it's the sale of a business is about, it's just like any asset, right? So the IRS is going to say, hey, Monica's mom, what was the business, what's the cost basis of the business? I presume that she and your dad, they built it from nothing. So it's probably not that big of a cost basis. You'll have to ask the accountant or the person who's the lawyer to kind of help you just get a sense, because you're going to have to report it. So right. Obviously, if we report it, we have to put some number down there. I don't know what that number is going to be, but it has to be something. If your cost basis was zero and you sell it for $250, the worst you're going to do is the $50,000. It will not be more than that, but okay. I bet it's less. Okay. So we know $50,000 for taxes. What about the emergency fund? What does she spend on an ongoing basis?
She really doesn't spend that much. We were just going through her numbers and it looks like $3,000 to $4,000 a month. She
receives Social Security right now?
She right now gets $1,000 a month for herself, but starting middle of 2025, she'll be picking up my father's survivor benefit, which will bump her up to that $3,000. So she's in really good shape there.
Okay, that's good. And so any other money that she has invested right now?
Yes, she's got about $1 million in IRAs.
Okay. Pre-tax, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How old is mom? I neglected to ask you that question.
61.
Okay. So she's young. She's healthy. How much does she have in the bank right now?
10,000.
Okay. So do you agree that there is some comfort level that she would have in just keeping, say, 50 total in the bank just as an emergency reserve? Would you feel she would feel better with that and you would feel better with that, right?
Yes.
Do you think more? Because, I mean, look, there's a case to be made. We should put a little more in there because, 2 years of her living expenses. She owns a home, right?
Right.
And what's the house worth?
400, I think.
No
About
mortgage,
400.
right?
No mortgage.
Just, I don't know, like things break in the house, stuff happens. So maybe I would say 50 we keep aside for taxes. Then maybe just for the time being, until we get through tax time, maybe we keep like 150 in the bank. So meaning that we put 50 aside for taxes, add 90 to her bank account. Let's let that play out a little bit. Now, I don't think you should sit in cash. I think she should have some CDs. I think she should probably have like a 1 year and a 2 year and maybe a 3 year CD with most of the money. And then she's going to have another $100,000 to invest into a plain old brokerage account. Does she have any money in a brokerage account right now?
Not in a brokerage, no.
Okay. And is that freaky to her? Is she going to be able to handle this? Just in terms of like, should we invest, or is that going to be beyond what she could take right now in terms of risk?
I think she would be fine doing that.
Okay.
I'm not as familiar with that. So could you even break it down further? Like the CDs, how much should we put in a 1 year and a 2 year?
Okay. Mark, do you want to hop in here? Do you think I'm being overly conservative by having of the money? So let's say that we put 50 aside just for taxes, and maybe it'll be less than that. You should definitely, let's get that number. But let's say that in this account total in the bank, there's 150 grand. So we know that there's got to be some amount, the tax money should be in a 3-month CD, right? Because that's all that you can afford, right? We have to file taxes in a few months. Okay. Then Mark, how do you want to ladder the rest of the CDs?
I mean, and the tax money, it's like, if you even want to do a 3-month CD.
Yeah, you don't have to.
If you don't, you don't have to. Just let it sit there until you pay your taxes in the spring. I mean, she doesn't spend a lot of money, so right. This is gonna set her up for a while. So she can go pretty far. You can do a 6 month, you can do a year, you can even put some in the 2 year.
I was going to say, yeah, that's what I would say. I would say that like I'd like her to, for a CD, let's just pretend we're making this up, right? Let's say there's 50 grand that's in taxes and you don't even have to put it in a CD. And then what we can do is just leave the amount of money out that we think she's going to need, because, she'll need money for the first 6 months of the year if it goes, until it goes to 3,000. So we know that we'll need like 30 grand accessible after the taxes. Okay. Just to pay her for stuff. Maybe a little, but so 30. Okay. So now of the remaining 80, maybe we put 40,000 in a 1 year CD and 40,000 in a 2 year CD. So that in 1 year, that CD comes due. And then like, that's her spending money. She's good. Just in case she may not even need it. We're just giving you the optionality. And, and I think that makes more sense in terms of and if she feels more comfortable with it, she could just do it for like 18 months instead of 2 years. But like what we're trying to do is we're trying to set her up so that whatever we put in this brokerage account, that she doesn't have to touch it for a couple of years. We'll get back to Monica in just a second. It's the Jill on Money Show.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. We are answering financial questions. If you've got one, just go to jillonmoney.com and click the Contact Us button. Let's get back to Monica from New York. The money that is coming as the lump sum makes a real difference. That's her living expenses, essentially. And that gets her through the first couple of years. And then we'll get a better sense of what her spending looks like. And maybe, at that point, we're going to then start to say, after a couple of years, then we can start using the money inside of the IRA account if we'd like, just slowly but surely. I want to get through this tax year because she's going to get hammered a little bit. But then essentially whatever money she needs, she can just pull out of the IRA account slowly but surely. It doesn't have to be a lot. It could be like a year from now, she might say, I'm good. I didn't even spend all this money. I don't need money from the IRA account. That's fine. We can basically have her pull whatever she needs out of that IRA account a little bit at a time, pay very low taxes. I mean, essentially, she's going to be in like the 12% tax bracket. She pulls the money out, and you can either live on it or add it to the brokerage account. And that, I think, could be really helpful for her because she's going to build that account up. Look, I don't think she's ever going to be in a bad tax situation. I kind of feel like she's got it now. It's a shockingly fabulous development that she gets this money, because what I do think it does is it helps us get through this first year. But, she can take out she could take 50 grand a year out from her IRA account and be in the 12% tax bracket, and everything's fine and dandy. Hey, how's she getting health care right now?
Wait a minute. She's 60.
She's only 61, not Medicare.
No, she's not 61. I did my math wrong. She's 65.
Oh.
Yeah. So she's Medicare. I know she's Medicare.
Okay, great. Okay, that's good. You did the math wrong. You're so
I'm not good at
But that's even better. So, I think that I don't want to go crazy with the investing part of this. She's got plenty of money. Nothing bad's going to happen. I'm just saying for the first 18 months, I don't want her to necessarily just tap into the IRAs. Let's see how her spending goes. Maybe you're like, hey, I said it was $3 or $4 grand a month, but now it really is like $4,500 a month. That's what she's doing. I want a better sense of what the dollars really are. But there's nothing going on here that causes me any consternation. She's got 10 years to get money out of this IRA account before the government will force her to do so through required minimum distributions. And she'll get that money out. She'll pay her taxes, and it'll be a very low rate. That spells success in terms of her financial life. So you think that she can be on board with this? You think this is a good plan?
Yes, very much so. I just want to better understand the brokerage account myself. So within the brokerage account, we then get the CDs?
No, I mean, you could. Where does the IRA account held right now?
Well, she's got it split between, this was one of the reasons we called the first time, she's got it split between MassMutual and Vanguard. And I was trying to get it all to Vanguard, but she wasn't comfortable moving it all. So it's still split.
Okay. What is it invested in inside of MassMutual? Do you know? Because MassMutual is an insurance company, so that could mean that it is in variable annuities, but it also could just be like MassMutual mutual funds. I'm interested because maybe what we'll do is you'll just open up a brokerage account at Vanguard. They may be able to buy some CDs, but maybe she just does it at the bank. I don't want to stress her out too much. You would open up a brokerage account in her name. Okay. Are you the only child?
No, there's 3 of us.
Okay. She should make this brokerage account something called a transfer on death account. Okay. Whereas if she were to pass away, it would pass to you guys in equal shares, just so it could avoid probate. I think that it would make a lot of sense for her to then have a very low key Vanguard brokerage account, which would be like an individual account that is half in a stock index fund and half in a bond index fund. And that's it.
All right. So I just pulled up her MassMutual, and it
tell me.
Split between MML, American Funds Growth.
Okay. That's just a plain old large growth stock fund.
Okay. MML Equity.
Okay. Another stock fund.
Invesco VI Global Strategic Income.
Okay. That's an international bond fund.
MML Midcap Value.
That's dopey. Okay.
Good. We want your opinions on that.
I know. Midcap Value. Okay.
MML Inflation Protected Income.
Okay, that's all right. Inflation protected bonds.
And then there's a fixed account and an MML U.S. government money market.
Okay, but can you do me a favor? So you're looking at the top of this statement. Can you just read what the statement is, how it's titled? It's like, Monica's mom. Is it for the benefit of Monica, or was this your dad's?
There were at one point 2, but now this is just market type IRA. Annuitant, it says.
Say it again. What's it?
Annuitant.
Oh, okay. You just gave me okay. So it's an annuity. Okay. This is an annuity contract. So what this means is this is an insurance company product. All right. And there are a number of things that we can do with this. The annuitant is your mom, meaning your parents put money into this product called an annuity.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, all the damage has been done, meaning there was high fees, blah, 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 blah. So it's not like the worst thing in the world at this point. I don't want to make her crazy, but this has a very high fee structure compared with, say, the Vanguard.
Mm-hmm.
How much money is in the Mass Mutual and how much money is in the Vanguard?
Mass Mutual is about 625 and Vanguard is about 400.
Okay. So would she be okay if we moved some of the money into the Vanguard a little bit at a time, maybe?
Begrudgingly. I think I've been trying for years, but I think maybe.
Okay. It may not be. So here's what I think you should do. Okay. I think after next year in 2026, okay, I'm going to change my mind a tiny bit. I think in 2026, you should start pulling money out of the Mass Mutual account, 50 grand a year, about, okay? And you can pull it. It doesn't matter. You can say to them you want to annuitize it, or you can just pull the money out and she'll pay tax on it. She has to pay tax anyway. Just take it out of that one first. Leave the Vanguard. Only pull from Mass Mutual.
Okay.
I hope that we kind of get through. I hope we can plow through this money over the next 5, 6, 7 years and just get it out of the Mass Mutual environment simply by pulling the money out. And then it closes down. And then you've got one Vanguard retirement account. And then you'll have the one Vanguard brokerage account, just an account in her name, not a retirement account, taxable brokerage account.
Okay. So if she were open to moving the Mass Mutual or a chunk of it to Vanguard, would you suggest?
100%. I would move the entire 625 into Vanguard right now because it would save her in fees. She's going to save probably 1.5% a year. So of that 625, say, hey, Mom, you want to save $6,000 a year?
All right.
It's possible. It is possible. Just to be clear, you're going to have her listen to this, and then you're going to get back in touch with us. If she needs a little like gentle nudging from, her niece, Jill, I'm really her age. You know what? That pisses me off that I just realized that I'm basically her age, a little bit younger. You say, Aunt Jill wants to talk to you, but this is a great outcome financially for her. It really is. And the brokerage account is like that $250,000. It's think of it as, instead of getting the 50 grand a year from the company, we're going to set this aside. And say to her, Jill says, instead of taking 50 grand a year out of Dad and your company, you're going to take 50 grand a year out of the IRA from Mass Mutual. And that's going to be what you live on. 50 grand a year. I want you to get on top of that. That's the same number. It works so well. It'll be perfect.
Okay. Now, the one other hesitation I know she had was the Mass Mutual on paper looked like it was returning more each year. It was aggressively, it was more stocks versus bonds, where the Vanguard I set up for her was more bonds. So it was returning less, but that, was a reason. But how can I help her?
Just take the money. So how much is in the Vanguard? What do you have? Is it 40 stocks, 60 bonds?
Mm-hmm.
So have her take money in the Mass Mutual. Just say, hey, Mom, as you get older, it's fine. We don't have to do it. We don't have to kill it. We can just be 50-50. And that's probably what she is overall. So take some from the stocks and some from the bonds in the Mass Mutual. And the Vanguard, you can shift it. You can make it 50-50 if you want. You shouldn't worry about that. You can be happily 50-50 in that Vanguard account. I want to get out of that Mass Mutual so badly right now.
Too.
But we're going to do what we can do, right?
Okay. Yes.
Got a financial question? Go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. This is a program that is focused on you and your needs. If you are going through a big life change and it has something to do with money, we'd love to hear from you. All you need to do is go to our website, JillOnMoney.com. And when you're there, There's a whole bunch of stuff that's on that front door, but in the top right-hand corner, there is always a Contact Us button. You click that button and a form will pop up. That's the email we receive from you. And we will read emails at every show. We always want to answer emails. But I love when you come on the air with us. And if you'd like to do that, check the box. Executive producer Mark Telaria will do everything else because he is the best executive producer in the world. And don't forget, while you are on the website, sign up for the free weekly newsletter and maybe consider joining our subscription service. It's called Jill on Money Live. That is where you have access to quarterly live webinars, 4 of them. You get to check out the whole back catalog of those webinars. There's more bonus content, and it all costs $35. So I think you might want to consider it. It's pretty cool. Okay, let's get on with this. Right now, we're talking to Jay from Virginia. Hello, Jay. How are you?
Hi, Jill and Mark. I'm doing well. How are you?
Great. What can we do for you?
So I've been saving for retirement. I'm just wondering if I can reduce how much I'm spending for retirement and enjoy life a little more.
I'm always in favor of enjoying life a little bit more. So, Jay, how old are you?
I'm 47.
Okay. Are you married, single, divorced?
Single, divorced with 1 child, 6-year-old.
6 years old. Okay. And you're working full time?
Yes, I am.
Okay. How much do you earn?
150.
What kind of retirement savings plan are you using on that 150,000?
So I have both the traditional and Roth. Currently, I'm putting, I think, 15,000 into the Roth and then 8,000 into the traditional.
Great. How much is in each of those? Like, what is the balance of the traditional and what is the balance of the Roth?
Traditional is currently at 183, and the Roth is 76,800.
Okay, great. And will you be entitled to a pension?
No.
No pension. Okay. Do you have other investments as well?
Yes, I do.
Tell me more.
So I have a rollover from a prior job that's currently at 303,000.
And that's all pre-tax, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
And then I have a brokerage that's currently at 129.
Okay.
A Roth IRA, that's 48,000. Traditional IRA, that's 1,953.
Wait, you're like $2,000? Is that what I got? Okay. Yep. Okay. Got it.
And then I have the HSA that's currently at 36,200.
That's good. And have you started to, is that it for you in terms of savings? Do you have any money in the bank?
30,000.
Have you done any saving for our 6-year-old scholar? Is there a 529 account or any custodial account?
I have a 529. Balance is currently at 28,000. I'm planning to just save for half of it. His dad is responsible for the other half.
Okay, that's good. Are you putting money in there on an ongoing basis, or do you just put a little bit like every once a year? How often do you do the 529 contribution?
I do it monthly. So when I started, I think I put in 9,000 in bulk, and then I started doing 300, but currently I'm doing 400 a month into the 529. Okay.
So how much do you think, this is so hard when you have a 6-year-old, but how much do you think you need to spend every month? Like, what you're doing some saving. So, obviously you're maxing out your retirement account. You are putting money in the 529. There's brokerage money. There's HSA money. Let's go to the other side. You're doing a lot of saving. What do you think you spend on a monthly basis?
I think my max would be 5,000, but I think I spend less than that.
It sounds like it because you save a lot of money, but let's use the 5 number just for the heck of it. And tell me, do you own a home?
Yes, I do.
What's that worth?
So that's, I think it's probably worth between 600 and 650. House next door sold at 650 about a month ago.
And is there a mortgage outstanding?
Yeah, I owe 132 currently.
So the house value went up quite a bit, obviously.
Yeah.
What's the interest rate on the mortgage?
2.25.
Oh my gosh. Wow. And is that a 15-year or a 30-year?
I did a 15-year.
Did you do this like maybe a few years back, like COVID time, 2.25%?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Okay. All right. And so you're not going to be entitled to any pension.
No.
Do you receive any money? I know you said you're responsible for half of education with your ex. Do you receive any child support for the kid?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
What's that? So that is, when you said 150,000, did that include child support or not?
No, it doesn't include it.
All right. So how much is the child support?
It's $766 a month.
756. Very particular. I'm going to just say 750 a month. What happens with that money when it comes in? You just throw it into your bank account, or what do you do with that usually?
That goes into my bank account. I invest 400 out of that into another brokerage for him, in addition to the 400 I put in the 529.
How much is that? When you said the brokerage account, was that the brokerage you're talking about, the 129,000 one?
No, that's mine. So his currently has 3,500 in there.
Well, why do that instead of the 529 in case he doesn't go to college?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe what I have would be enough for half. So this would be like extra money for him.
Mark, do a little calc for me. Are we talking about public university or private university for the 6-year-old?
I'm thinking public, but I'm also hoping
let's say
he gets like
scholarship, genius, blah, blah, blah. I know. Let's say it's not. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. We'll get back to Jay in a moment. If you've got a financial question, just go to JillOnMoney.com, click on the box in the upper right-hand corner, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us live, check that box. We'll do everything else. It's the Jill on Money Show.
.401ks, IRAs, refinancing, she covers it all. Back to Jill on Money with Jill Schlesinger.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, and we're here trying to help you navigate your financial journey. And each of you has a different one. I get that. That's why we really want to encourage you to ask us the question that's on your mind. Maybe you're thinking about 2 different jobs. Maybe you're thinking about selling a piece of real estate. Maybe you're trying to buy your first home. Maybe you're thinking about retirement. Maybe you're just absolutely flabbergasted and don't even know where to start with that financial journey. Get in touch with us. Just go to our website, JillOnMoney.com. And when you're there, you'll see a Contact Us button. It's in the upper right-hand corner. Just click it. A form will pop up. That's the email. And write us a note. And if you're shy, that's okay. It can end right there. But if you'd like to join us on the air, check the box. We'll get you on the air. It's so great because it allows us to ask a lot of follow-up questions. That's why I love when you come on the air with us live, as you will see as we continue our conversation with Jay from Virginia. So a public university, so, let's say UVA.
It'll be about 60,000. What she has right now will be about 60,000 in 12 years.
But that's not enough even to pay for half, because right now, even if you're in state, it's like 2025. So she needs a little more than that, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think if she can build it up to like, say, 40. And then maybe she could pump the brakes on that?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I tell you what I would do is I would, first of all, the $750 a month that you are getting in child support, I would just literally turn around and put that in the 529 plan, all of it. Okay. And I would do that for, a few more years. Like Mark said, try to get to 40-ish, and then you can stop and then you can redirect. But I think that's such a nice, easy thing. Like, $750 straight into the child support goes straight into the 529 plan. Okay. Now, your next question was, hey, I have now put away a bunch of money into retirement, right? Mm-hmm. So we have, I'm just looking at this, the 303. So you have 305,000 that hasn't been taxed plus the 183. And then we have the Roth of 76 and 48. Well, when do you think you want to retire, Jay?
I was thinking 60.
50? What are you going to do?
Wait, did you say 50 or 60?
60.
Oh, 60. I thought she said 50. So 60 of retirement. So the question is, can you tap the brakes on your retirement?
Well, you say in the email, your subject, can I reduce and enjoy life a little bit more? Like, are you feeling tight, or is it uncomfortable for you?
No, it's like I'm putting so much away and I don't leave enough to just for life, like travel.
Oh, here's what I do. Easy solution. You're maxing out your 401k at work. You're doing most of it Roth, some of it pre-tax, and you're doing a Roth IRA. I would forget the Roth IRA, take that $7,000 a year, use it on yourself, enjoy yourself, take your child on a vacation. To substitute for not doing a Roth IRA, make all of your 401k contributions, make them all Roth.
Right. I love that idea. So you're doing 15 Roth, 8 traditional. Is there any reason why does your company match and you have to do some amount in traditional?
So my company would match either way. They match 4%. I just was trying to reduce my taxable income so I could do the Roth IRA.
Yeah, so you don't have to. Guess what? Forget doing the Roth IRA. Forget it.
Okay.
Because you have a Roth through work. So don't do the Roth IRA. Do the maximum amount will go into your, $23,000. I guess I don't even know what it is for next year. It's probably $23,500. So $23,500 next year, and you can stop doing your Roth contribution totally, and you could relax a little bit. Here's what I think. I think that you're saving because that is how you that's who you are. Because when you said $5,000 a month, it doesn't sound like you're giving yourself permission to spend the money. So I think that what we could say is if you just put money into your Roth 401k through work, right? Just use your Roth, let them do their match, keep doing that for 13 more years, put the child support money in the 529 until it gets to 40 grand and live your life. And if there's extra money, pop it into the brokerage account. Don't even think twice about it. You're fine. But you know what I can't solve for you? I can't solve that you will not give yourself permission to spend money. You have to do that. So I love the idea that Mark said that you now have a $7,000 budget to have something fun. Like, what do you want to do that's fun? Go on a vacation, go on a long weekend, do something crazy. $7,000, just blow it. Have fun. Can you do that?
I think so.
We'll see. I want you to report back. Do you have your estate documents done?
Yes, I do.
And do you have life insurance?
Yes.
How much?
I have a million that I bought term, and then I have 150 from work.
Okay, perfect.
By the way, Jay, for the next 13 or so years, if you just keep maxing out that 401k at work, you're going to have at least $2 million when you retire.
And the house is going to be paid off. Don't forget.
Considering what you spend on a monthly basis, you're going to have more than enough. And that's not even including Social Security.
Yeah. So you're in good shape, but you have to give yourself permission, Jay. We can tell you that financially the guardrails are up. You've done a great job, but give yourself permission to enjoy yourself a little bit. Will you? Come on. You work hard. You're entitled. I think you should. Do you need some assistance? Do you need a little coaching or mentoring? Mark and I are both certified financial planners, and we'd love to help you out. Go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. We'll be right back. You're back. It's Jill on Money, the program that attempts to take the mystery out of your financial life. And we do that through a lot of different ways, but we primarily rely on you, our listeners. And what we are asking is if you've got something going on in your life, anything at all that is remotely financial, it could be a life insurance question, it could be an education question, a real estate, retirement, anything. Maybe you're just weighing two different job offers and you want some help trying to compare them and some of the benefits. Get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and check the box if you'd like to join us on the air live. Before we conclude this hour, how about an email? Let's take one. This is from Eileen, who writes, my son recently received money that is retroactive pay after a settled union contract. I advised him to first pay off a high-interest credit card, which he did. He now has a little more than $4,000 left. He's single and 36 years old. I'm not sure what to suggest for him for the next step. Should it be a CD, an IRA, something else? What would you advise? Eileen, I agree with your very first recommendation. So paying off that debt, fantastic. The next part of what I like to call my big three is for your son to establish an emergency reserve fund so he just never has to go into debt ever again. And that might take the form of a CD or a high-yield savings account. His goal should be to accumulate enough money so he could cover 6 to 12 months of his living expenses. If that $4,000 is a step towards doing that, then maybe don't invest it. Don't do anything. Again, keep it safe. A short-term CD would be fine. But he absolutely should also start thinking about retirement. If he has a plan through work, that's obviously the easiest thing to do through payroll deduction. If he doesn't, maybe he should open up a Roth IRA and put some amount of money in there just to get him a little bit of a start. And then he should automatically contribute a fixed amount every month, no matter how little, even if it's just $50 or $100 to get him in the habit of saving. I hope that helps. You are listening to Jill on Money. If you've got a question, go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. We'll be right back.
It's the weekend, and that can only mean one thing. You're listening to Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, the program that attempts to take the mystery out of your financial life. And we do that through a lot of different ways, but we primarily rely on you, our listeners. And what we are asking is if you've got something going on in your life, anything at all that is remotely financial. It could be a life insurance question. It could be an education question, a real estate, retirement, anything. Maybe you're just weighing two different job offers and you want some help trying to compare them and some of the benefits. Get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and check the box if you'd like to join us on the air live. Now, while you're on the website, you're going to see we've got a lot of content there. We've got links to our 2 podcasts. We've got a blog section. We've got videos. We've got resources, links to my 2 books. And we also have an ability for you to join us in our subscription service called Jill on Money Live. This is where you pay $35 for the next 12 months, and then you have access to 4 live webinars. Now, not only do you get the webinars that are coming up, you get to go check out the back catalog, and it's all for $35. So it's a pretty good deal, if you ask me. Anyway, I hope you join us, and it is really fun. We've had great webinars. The most recent one we did was all about year-end financial planning and tax loss harvesting. People were really into it. You get to ask questions live. We get great guests. All fun. So check it out. All right, right now, back to you. We are going to talk to Colette from the Bay Area. Hi, Colette. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to talk to you guys today.
Excellente. What can we do for you?
Well, I am 60 years old, almost 61, and I'm looking to retire hopefully within the next 6 to 10 months.
Okay.
I've been in a pretty high intense job for almost 38 years now in the same industry.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're changing the rules, playing the game. And so I'm kind of ready to bow out gracefully.
Okay, let's see if you can. So
Sounds
you're almost 61. Are you married or single, divorced? What's going on?
Married.
Okay. How old is spouse?
Spouse is 63.
What spouse's situation on the retirement front? Yay or nay, with you or not?
Oh, totally. He wants me out a year ago.
But does he want to be out of his own job?
Oh, no. He's going to be working for at least another 5 years.
Oh, so that's great because you'll get health insurance.
Yes.
Okay, great. How much does he make?
He makes $130,000 a year.
And how much are you earning right now?
I make anywhere from 250 to 300 plus.
Okay, great. That's awesome. Now, do you have grown kids that are settled and taken care of?
2 stepchildren who are launched, and
Good.
a son. Our son is 19 going on 20 and in college right now.
Oh, thank
so
goodness.
we have 2.5 more years of college for him.
Okay, great. So since we got college and that's kind of set, do you have the money set aside for college already?
I do. For the most part, for the most part. I am
good.
paying it, out of my money, out of my income.
Yeah. Okay. In this 38-year career, you've squirreled away a lot of money. I'm just guessing because you're making a lot of money. So tell us about the amount that you have saved so far.
Well, let me tell you though, the amount of money did not really start coming in since about the last 15 years.
Okay. So you had so let's just say that for 2/3 of your career, you were making a lot less. Now you're making a lot more. Okay.
Correct.
So what do we got?
I've got a squirrel. I am a squirrel and I keep it in many different places. So I have, like cash accounts, and I think I'm a little heavy on cash, and that's one of the reasons why I always want to talk to you. Betterment account, I have 97,000. At Merrill, I have 101. Fidelity and SPXX, I have 103, and another 174,000 in another mutual.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, like $500,000 in cash, basically.
Yeah, about 75, yeah.
Pretty good, huh? Okay, let's see. What else do we got? All right, let's go from there. Let's go from cash. What's your next category? 401k or brokerage? What do you want to do next?
I've got a little other piddly things here. A little Betterment, 11,000. Privileged asset that I bought when I think I was 20 for $100, and it's 22,000 now. I have iBond for 20, 529 for my son at only 26,000. And then I go into like the stocks. Now this is where I was with Fisher back in the day.
Yeah.
And they put me in 83 different stocks.
Stop it.
Yes. And in 3 different accounts, pretty much the same stocks, but 83 different ones. And then when I moved to Fidelity, I moved them in kind, and I haven't touched them since. So,
are these all brokerage accounts? In other words, these are all taxable accounts, these 83 that you're about to tell me in Fidelity?
2 are IRAs and 1 is brokerage.
Okay. What is in the Fidelity brokerage? How much? Not the retirement accounts, just the taxable account.
Let's see, 400, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about $1 million.
Okay, $1 million. Now, what's in the retirement accounts?
Oh, I'm sorry. I take that back. I'm sorry.
Take it back.
Take it back. Stocks, I have 400,000. The IRAs, I have 600,000.
Okay, and that's at Fidelity. You're self-managing.
Correct.
Okay, so 400 in the taxable brokerage. Whatever, this 500 grand ish, and a little bit more, a little bit less. IRA 600,000. What about your current retirement? Oh, any Roth IRAs that are at Fidelity?
No.
Okay. Now let's go into your current retirement account. What's in there?
My husband has about 711,000.
So it's 711,000 in your husband's retirement account and your retirement account.
1.9 million.
Okay, that's great. We got a lot of money that hasn't been taxed yet, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, what else do you have that I should know about?
Nothing really. We own our house outright, but that's about it.
How much is the house worth?
Probably 1.3, 1.4.
Okay. Not moving, though. Got that kid thing, right?
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
So,
No second property?
nothing. No.
Okay, great. Aging parents we need to think about?
No longer.
Okay. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All right. How much money do you guys spend on an annual basis?
I want to say it's anywhere from 12 to 14,000 a month.
Okay.
But that could vary. Down.
Down? I'm not going to count on that. Sorry, kiddo. Okay. And will either of you be entitled to a pension?
No. Unfortunately,
but you will both be able to do Social Security.
Correct.
Do you happen to know your Social Security estimate at this point?
I do. And that's one of the other big questions I have is that when I retire, I would like to not pull it until I'm 67.11 months old, so I can get around $4,000 a month.
Okay.
My husband he'll be 67. He'll get about 38.
We'll get back to Colette in just a minute. If you'd like to get in touch with us, just go to JillOnMoney.com, click on the box in the upper right-hand corner, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us live, check that box. We'll do everything else. It's the Jill on Money Show.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, the program that attempts to take the mystery out of your financial life. And we don't do that alone. Yes, we push a lot of content out to you, but we are responding to what your needs are. So if there's something unique in your life that needs a little bit of extra attention, another set of ears and eyes on a situation, get in touch with us. Go to our website, JillOnMoney.com. Click the Contact Us button. Let us know if you'd like to come on the air. If you just want to do that, just check that box. We'll do everything else. While you're on the website, you'll see that you can sign up for our free weekly newsletter. It comes out every Friday. Mark does a great job of compiling stories that you may have missed during the week that we think you'll find interesting. So you can check that out at JillOnMoney.com. The free weekly newsletter comes out every Friday. So think of it as a good tune-up for this program. Right now, let's get back to Colette, who's on the line with us from the Bay Area. Any other grand desire that we should consider right now?
There's a few grand desires, and then there's a few needs, like the new roof.
Let's do need. We'll do need first. Okay, new roof. How much do we got to pay for that?
25 to 30,000.
Okay, but you have $500,000 of cash. What are you thinking about, babe? Come on,
that's
just pay for it. Just pay for it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Just said
right?
comes out of the kitty though, right?
Out of cash. Out of cash.
Out of cash. Okay.
Out of cash. You're cash heavy.
And then just some stuff around the house that needs to be fixed. So total would probably be 50.
Great.
And then I'd like to do in retirement a big family vacation to Italy.
Yes, you would.
Yes, we would.
Yes, you would. So Mark, how much should we spend on that family vacation to Italy?
Where are we going?
We're going to 50. We're taking I'm saying 50.
I would say, yeah, for sure.
At least.
Because of the husband has connections, those Italian connections, we have access to a villa for a reasonable amount. So all
right, I'm going to say 50. What the heck?
Okay.
So out of your $500,000 of cash, let's just say 100 is gone for the house stuff and the Italy trip. Okay? Great. Next, from the time you retire, we have to figure out how we can supplement your husband's income, right? So you said he's going to work for another 5 years. Is it really going to be 5 or is it going to be less? Because I don't trust that. Oftentimes what will happen is you give your notice, you're living large, and he's like, that looks nice.
He loves his job.
He does? All right. Well, let's have him keep work. Let's have him keep working. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So he goes 5 years. You get your you can also let him off the hook as soon as you get your Medicare. So he works for 5 years. And we know that you're going to pull some money out of your total savings to come up with that $14,000 a month, right?
Correct.
Are you going to be the kind of person, you little squirrel, that you're going to allow yourself to do this? And what do I mean by that? I mean that you have to set up a system. If you are going to retire, you have to set up a system so that you feel like you can spend the money that you need, and you need about 170 grand a year. He makes 130. Well, how much does he put into his retirement account right now? What percentage? He maxes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would do that. They got like $2.6 million in pre-tax. No, more. $3.2 million in pre-tax retirement. I don't feel like he should put any more money in. I mean, he can up to his match, but that's it. My number one thing first would be like, okay, we'll get all this cash flow. That's good. But we still need some money. And we have this time horizon over the next 7 to 10 years where you really are going to have to start pulling money out of your retirement accounts. You're going to get slammed.
Right.
Absolutely slammed. So what are the ideas to do this? Well, look, tax brackets are now, and again, we don't know, let's just say for the next 5 years, tax brackets are where they're going to be for the next 5 years. Right now, you guys are used to being in the top bracket of like 32%, maybe 24, but mostly you're paying for most of your tax dollars are in the 24%. That's that huge $200,000 to $384,000 category, right? So that's kind of where you guys are, right? And you might go up a bit in certain years, but so you're at 24 or 32%. Now, the only thing that's going to happen when you retire in 6 months is that you're going to lose that big chunk of money that you get. We're going to have your husband stop contributing to his retirement or just put it up to the match. And then I think you should start pulling money out of your retirement account, yours, okay? Your 1.9 or your IRA, I don't care which. I'm sure you're going to move your 401k into your IRA, at Fidelity.
Fidelity, yes.
Right? So then you're going to have $2.7 million. So now what I think I would do is I would take the money that you were pulling out in salary. I may pull out a little bit less, like 200,000 at 225-ish. I'd pull that out of the account, adding your husband's 130 on top of that. That keeps you in the 24% bracket. And I'd start pulling money out aggressively out of your retirement accounts, your pre-tax accounts. That's like golden for you. You'll just be able to pull money out, pay the tax that's due. Top bracket will be 24%. And you can try to get as much money as you can out of those accounts. I think that's a good game plan. And I would keep doing that for as long as I possibly could. I may even keep doing that, Colette, until I might push out your Social Security claiming. How's your health? How's your longevity in your family?
Decent, 80s,
80s? Okay. I might wait till I'm 70 even and just pull the retirement money out. Your benefit will go up. His benefit would go up. It's kind of a nice way to pull money out and, it would work for you. From there, you got a really interesting situation that occurs. You're 70 years old. Let's just wind the clock ahead, right? You have $8,000 a month you got like half of the money you need coming out of your retirement account. You've got the other half that you'll pull out of your 401, your pre-tax dollars. Remember, we got to add your husband's money in there also by the time he gets there. So then the question is, how much money can we get out of these accounts between the moment you start claiming Social Security, 70 to 75, when you have to start pulling the money out? And, I think we'll have to determine it at that time. I think it's still going to be, you're going to pull more money out than you need in order to whittle down the accounts. The real question is whether or not you feel comfortable trying to convert. Instead of just pulling the money out, should you be converting the money into Roth assets? Now, Mark, there is a lot of cash here. I get the sense that Colette and her husband kind of like having cash because you don't have $500,000 in cash if you don't like cash. Would you soak up some of that cash by converting?
I mean, they have so much in pre-tax. I don't know how much of a dent they're going to be able to make.
Yeah.
And I think it might freak them out a little bit.
Yeah. I think so too. So I'm going to just say Yeah, we know you already. So what I think you should be doing is a couple of things. Use your cash freely if you want, and then we'll use the retirement account, pull the money out as you know, and if all of a sudden you call me back in a few years and you're like, oh my God, our retirement accounts are kicking butt. We have so much money, and there are other things we can do. You can pull money out. You can do qualified charitable distributions when you turn 70 and a half. But I think this should be the general game plan. Now, the 83 different stocks that are in the taxable Fidelity brokerage account, are they still there?
Yes.
Okay. Is everything at a gain?
There's a few losers.
Okay.
So
at the very least, what I would do at the end of this year is sell the losers against the winners. Just clean up as much as you can this year. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then you're left with the winners. We'll get back to Colette in just a minute. If there is something going on in your financial life and you need some assistance, both Mark and I are certified financial planners, and we'd love to help you out. Just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. Don't forget to check the box if you'd like to join us live. Jill on Money will be right back.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. We are the program that attempts to take the mystery out of your financial life. And there's a lot going on right now. We are coming into the year end. That means there are probably a bunch of to-dos you never really got to from the beginning of the year. Everything from estate planning to maybe better manage my taxes or even my own portfolio. One of the great things about the calendar is that it prompts you to do a lot of stuff that you probably know you should be doing, but maybe you haven't been. So don't wait for January 2nd and New Year's resolutions. Get on this right now. Get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com. Click the Contact Us button. We'll help you out. It's really easier for us to do it because we don't really have an agenda. We just want to help you out and get you where you want to go. Okay, let's get back to Colette, who's on the line with us from the Bay Area, and help her get where she'd like to go. It may be that we think you should try to start at least putting money into this account and trying to change the allocation a little bit. Or maybe it's that you start selling some of the winners as needed if you needed some of the brokerage money. But it's such a pain in the neck to manage it.
I know. So I had a person at Fidelity actually told me to sell everything in the IRAs, all 83.
Yeah, I would do that.
And sell them all and then just buy 2 or 3.
Four exchange traded funds or mutual fund, index mutual funds. Sure. I'm all in on that. Get rid of that. That's nonsense.
Just sell it all.
Yeah, sell it all. And come up with a good game plan that you're comfortable with. And from there, you will be, it's so great. You'll have a much easier structure to manage. Right. I don't know what Fisher Investments was thinking with, I wonder if this was all before like exchange trade. You know, what happens is when you have a big management company, having 83 stocks for them is no biggie. Because it's just everybody's in the same portfolio, right? Right? So it's a pain in the butt for you. Are you charitable at all, by the way?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. This may be another really good idea. Do you have a sense of how much you give away every year? About?
No, I don't even have a close idea because I'm pretty bad at that.
Okay.
Keeping up on what we give.
Here's what I think you should do with your Fidelity person. I think you should explore with them opening what's called a donor advised fund, a DAF. It's called the Fidelity Charitable. It's a great plan. Here's what you could do. One way that you could start getting rid of some of these winners in the brokerage account with all those 83 positions, is you could say, okay, give me a name of something that's in there that's made a lot of money.
NVIDIA.
Oh, NVIDIA. Perfect. Mm-hmm. Okay. So NVIDIA, I have a position worth, let's just pretend, $5,000. What you could do, is it more than that?
Yeah.
How much is it? Let's just do it. Let's do this. This is fun. NVIDIA, how much is it worth out of your 400 grand?
60,000.
Okay, great. Do you think you would give away like $5,000 a year, 10 grand a year? Okay, yes. Easy peasy, right? Yeah. Okay, here's what you're going to do. If you want, you could take the entire NVIDIA, tell this to the Fidelity dude. Say, hey, I want to take my NVIDIA position and maybe even, this is such a good idea for this year. I'm so brilliant. I'm so happy. Okay, so for this year, do you guys claim itemized or do you claim the standard deduction?
Standard deduction.
You're going to claim this year in 2024. I think you're going to be able to claim itemized, because what we're going to do is I am going to suggest that you take a few of your big winning positions and make a contribution of $100,000 into a Fidelity donor advised fund. There's no tax due when you do it, but here's why I want you to think about it. You're in a high tax bracket right now, right? You can take this money, you can put the 100 grand in, you're going to get the charitable contribution in 2024 of 100 grand. You don't have to give the money away this year. You can dribble it out. You can do $5,000 a year for a long time. You can do $10,000 a year for the next 10 years. And then you don't have to get nickeled and dimed throughout the year. You've got this one place where all of the records are kept. In the year where you have a big year, like this year, or maybe you decide, do you work with an accountant, by the way?
I need a new one.
Okay. You work for, you find, ask your friends about this. You find an accountant who can help you with this. There's a great idea, which is you could essentially say, I'm pulling money out of my retirement account, so my tax bracket's going to be high. But then I'm going to send some of this low basis stock, these appreciated positions, the legacy Fisher investments that's now sitting in Fidelity. And now you can start to whittle that down and use that for your charitable giving, but you don't have to do it all in one year in terms of giving it away. But you do pick a year when you're in a higher tax bracket and you're going to itemize your deductions and you jam it into this donor advised fund, and it's there for you to give away over the future years. Now you can't not give any money away. We've spoken to experts who say you really have to be giving like $5,000 a year in that account, but you do that anyway. So it's so awesome. And it's a beautiful thing to do with those unrealized big gains like you have with NVIDIA. So it's a possibility. You could just say, oh, I'm going to keep NVIDIA. I don't care. And then you can move a whole bunch of other things in there just to clean up that account.
Right. Okay. So besides that one specific stock, so I could do some of the other ones that I had, so maybe keep a couple of the NVIDIA and then mix it up.
Yeah, you could say, like, I'm going to say 20,000 of NVIDIA, 12,000 of Microsoft, this one, that, you can do whatever you want.
And I have to do that before the end of the year?
You don't have to. I would, because I think you're going to be in a high tax bracket this year. This is going to be a peak year for you guys, right?
Correct.
So I would do it this year. Talk to the Fidelity dude and see what they think. Now, do you guys have your estate documents done?
Yes, but need to be redone because the children are no longer children.
I know. I love when people are like, well, I guess guardianship's not an issue. I just put the high pressure on my sister. I'm like, I'm not a guardian anymore. I don't want that job. You got to fix this. I think it's great. You've got tons of money and tons of opportunity. I'm so excited, Mark. I feel like I'm very positive today because I've made people's dreams come true just today. If you need some assistance, some guidance, some mentorship, some coaching, give us a holler. Go to JillOnMoney.com. In the upper right-hand corner, there is a Contact Us button. Click that button, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us live, just check the box and we'll do everything else. We'll be right back.
.401ks, IRAs, refinancing, she covers it all. Back to Jill on Money with Jill Schlesinger.
You're back. It's the Jill on Money Show, the program that attempts to take the mystery out of your financial life. If you've got a question, just go to jillonmoney.com and click the Contact Us button. That's the email that we receive, and we love to get you shy people involved. This email is from Peter, who says, longtime listener, first-time emailer. Just want to see how you think we are doing. I'm 39. My wife is 36. I recently transitioned to the private sector 3 years ago, and my total compensation is about $300,000 to $350,000 a year. By the way, I was making 1/3 of that 3 years ago, so I am brand new to making great money. My wife makes roughly $300,000 working for a big company. So wow, they're making over $600,000. We have 2 kids, a 4-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. Our estate documents are in order. I have $1 million in life insurance. My wife has $1.5 million. We've got $100,000 in cash, a brokerage account, $177,000. Wife is maxing out her 401k. There's $285,000. There is a Fidelity brokerage account, which has his wife's employee stock and an ETF, the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund. I have a 401k with a $63,000 balance. I also have an old retirement account, $64,000, and my wife has $100,000 of restricted stock. We bought a house this year for $775,000 with a 6.99% 30-year mortgage. We put a big chunk down. We probably have about $300,000 or so of equity in the house. Here is the kicker. I have a large student loan debt from a private law school, roughly $340,000 in student loans. The good news is I'm on the pay program, and I've been paying into it for 11 years. I'm currently paying about $500 a month in payments, but with my new higher income, payments will be about $1,200 to $1,300 a month since my wife and I file separately. How are we doing? What are my blind spots? We're both maxing out our 401ks, and with my monthly bonuses, I'm now able to sock away anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 extra a month. At this point, I'm alternating between my brokerage account, the kids' 529, and dollar cost averaging. Obviously, the student loan debt is a lot, but the repayment plan is great, and it will be forgiven in 9 more years of payments, and the payments don't hurt too much. I don't think I'm missing anything else, so I'm happy to answer any questions and appreciate your help. Well, it does sound like you're in great shape. And Peter, what I think I would do is make sure instead of alternating, just pick an amount that you want to put into all these accounts and get it done automatically. Just put a fixed amount in the brokerage account and the kids' 529 account. I'm not sure about these student loan payment plans. I don't know if things are going to change in the next administration. That would argue for making sure that you do have a bulked up brokerage account in case that whole plan changes dramatically. So that's the only thing I would say. It sounds like you're in great shape. Be disciplined. Get that money flowing as quickly as you can. Just be prepared. Things could change when it comes to student loan payments. This question is from Ava. I also got this question from a friend of mine, a very close friend of mine. So this is a question about, is the stock market too frothy and should there be an action item? So I want to read Ava's question. I'm seeing so much chatter about safeguarding investments. Some people are advocating pulling out of stocks entirely. How can we guard ourselves against volatility without being recklessly anxious? What does it mean to be more fiscally conservative as an investor in reality? What is the right mix? 50-50? Could you please address the current situation for listeners? I'm nervous. I've always been one to stay the course over the last 25 years in the market. I do have an advisor. I would love your take. I've got $2 million in stocks and bonds, just over half of that in a brokerage versus retirement account. I've got $500,000 in cash and CDs. Our only debt is a 2.8% mortgage with $260,000 left. I am 49. My husband is 52. We don't have kids, and we've got about $6,000 a month in expenses. He is working, and I am not right now, and we earn about $150,000 a year. So that's from Ava. And by the way, I also got the same question from, again, one of my very closest friends in the world. Is the market too frothy? Should we be following Warren Buffett's advice and bulking up on our cash? So my answer to both of these questions is I'm just not a market timer. And I feel very strongly that when you're worried about these next 4 years, I understand it. People have different feelings about who's going to be running Treasury or the Federal Reserve. All those things matter. But chances are, Ava and my friend, you know that you are investing for decades in the future. We know that market timing does not work, but this is what I do know. Rebalancing your accounts works. So if you start the year and you are an investor who has, say, 60% of your money in stocks and 40% in bonds, maybe with the rise in stocks, you're 70-30. Sell 10% of the stock position, redirect it into the bond. Now you're back to your target allocation. And if you do this in a retirement account, no tax that's due. And if you rebalance in a taxable brokerage account, you might have to pay a tax on the gain. But I don't care. I just think rebalancing really does work. If you're really worried about the future, it argues for having low expenses relative to your income. You do. You have that. It also would argue for having a healthy cash balance. You have that as well. And my friend, who I know she and her husband have plenty of cash on hand, that's really the thing that you can control. You can control your spending and your allocation. Beyond that, please, let's stick with this. We're talking about decades in the future. So I know it sounds like tried and true. You don't have to time the market. You do have to rebalance. If you've got something going on in your financial life, just give us a holler. Go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. Don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. It comes out every single Friday. We'll be right back. You're back. It's Jill on Money, the program that attempts to help you make better or even less bad financial decisions. And all we are trying to do is not judge you, not wag our fingers at you. We just want to listen to what's going on for you, hear what your goals are, and help you get there. That's it. You know, sometimes it's a lot easier for people who are not emotionally involved to provide that guidance. And so that's why I think this is a great question to end the program with. This is from Gwen, who writes, who is the best person to ask for financial advice in regard to doing Roth conversions from a traditional IRA and a traditional 401k account? Someone who has knowledge in terms of the taxes, Medicare, and Social Security impacts. Would that be a CPA, a CFP? I love this question, Gwen. It could kind of be either one. Of course, I'm a certified financial planner, so I'm just going to speak to that for a second. I know that certified financial planners are helpful in this because they've got broad base of knowledge, but CPAs more and more are doing this kind of work, helping their clients try to thread the needle. What's the right amount of money to make sure that you don't pop into a new tax bracket? Or how much should you convert and maybe avoid paying that IRMA, that income-related monthly adjustment amount for Medicare planning? Now, all these things should be factored together. And I think both kinds of professionals would be willing to do that. So I hope that helps you out. And everyone else, if you've got a question about this, go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and a form will pop up. That's the email we receive from you. And we will read emails at every show. We always want to answer emails. But I love when you come on the air with us. And if you'd like to do that, check the box. Executive producer Mark Talercio will do everything else because he is the best executive producer in the world. And don't forget, while you are on the website, sign up for the free weekly newsletter and maybe consider joining our subscription service. It's called Jill on Money Live. That is where you have access to quarterly live webinars, 4 of them. You get to check out the whole back catalog of those webinars. There's more bonus content, and it all costs $35. So I think you might want to consider it. Our music is composed by Joel Goodman. Mark Talercio is our executive producer and king of all things web. Lift someone up. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.